All right, students and teachers, we hope you guys are sitting in your classrooms with your attention towards the front of the room. Students from last year, you remember that every once in a while, Ms. Sanchez and I like to have the chance to talk with you guys directly and to share some updates with you school-wide and make sure that we all have the information we need to be successful each and every day. So we are so excited to welcome you guys this morning to our first virtual student newsletter of the new school year. And so we hope to just have your attention for a few minutes. This has been the first week back from school, and I'm sure you guys are all very excited this week to see your friends again and to be back in school. These were just a couple special moments that we captured of our first day of kids being back in our buildings and in our classrooms, all doing a great job with your masks and following rules to keep each other safe during the school day. And we're so happy to see each and every one of you. A special welcome to those Armor students who are brand new to Armor. There's a lot of new students in our building this year, so if you are a student in a classroom with a new friend, please make sure to make our new students feel welcome and help them to get adjusted to our school.
So some of the things that we're going to talk about are just to kind of refresh our memories of things that how school is supposed to be and remembering ways to keep safe and how to move through our schools and some new things that are happening around Armor. So we're going to talk about a cell phone policy, what to do if we feel sick, and how to stay safe, how to walk through our hallways and go throughout the building, a new Armor Academic Center, and then we're going to talk very briefly about our dress code this year.
So the baseline for all of our school expectations, and I know we have kindergartners and pre-K students on here as well as 7th and 8th graders. So there's a lot to read on here, but I just want to be pretty simple that at Armor, we go to school every single day as a community. And that means that we rely on each other to have a wonderful school experience every day. And our values as a school, at Armor, we want our students to work hard every single day on the 3 skills that you see on the left-hand side. When you guys come to school every day, we want you to be building trust everywhere you go, in the classrooms, in the hallways, in the lunchrooms, in the bathrooms, at recess, anywhere you go. Trust is so important. So what does it mean to build trust in each of those areas? I want you guys to think about that. We're here also to build community. We build community in our classrooms, in our hallways, in our lunchrooms, or bathrooms, recess, everywhere we go, because we are here around everybody else, and we want to make sure that we're supporting each other. And then lastly, keeping each other safe. So at Armor, we also expect students to be safe in the classrooms, in the hallways, in the lunchrooms, in the bathrooms, and everywhere you go. So students, if you haven't yet reviewed this behavior matrix or this poster with your teachers yet, you guys will be doing that in the next week. And it is very, very important to Ms. Sanchez and I and all of your teachers that as students, you guys understand how to be successful each and every day and to be your best and to do your best in every part of the school day.
So one of our very important rules is to not have cell phones in the school building. We want to make sure that we're respecting our learning environment and we're not bringing any outside distractions into the school. So students are not allowed to have cell phones in classrooms at any time. And this is going to look a little bit different depending on what grade you're in. So if you're in grades 5 through 8, your phone may be turned off and in your locker. If it's on your person or in your classroom, it will be taken and sent to the office. Students in grades 3 through 4, and obviously our littles in the branch building, are not allowed to bring phones to school. If you bring a phone, like we said, to the classroom, we will have to take it, turn it into the office, and have one of your parents come and pick it up.
And students, at any time during the day, if you ever need to call home or, tell your parents something very important about how you're getting home that day, you can always come to the office and see Ms. Irma and Ms. Miriam to borrow the phone. So you don't need a cell phone. Our K through 4 students 100% do not need a cell phone every day. So you should be leaving any of your devices at home. Our older students, sometimes I know parents rely on you to communicate as you bring your siblings home. So if you show up to school with your cell phone, you must turn it off. You must keep it in your locker. You cannot bring it into the classroom at any time. Your teachers will be reinforcing that, as you know, they've already been doing that this week. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands what the expectations are with cell phones. The other part of that, as we're talking about how to be safe, how to be a community, and how to respect our learning environment, one of the things that we know makes school so special is that we, in our classrooms, we work together every single day. You guys know when you show up to school, the kids that you line up with, that you go to lunch and recess with, that you go to math and reading with, that you go to art and PE with, these are the kids that make your day what it is. And so you guys really need to lean on each other to build a strong community that keeps all of you happy, safe, motivated, and engaged. And so your teachers are leading you this week and next week through these classroom compacts. And these classroom compacts are just promises that we're making to each other. When we come to school every day, how are we going to be building community? How are we going to be building trust and respect? What promises are we going to make to one another? Because it requires all of us to make a commitment. And what expectations do I have of myself every day when I come into this classroom? What expectations do I have of my peers? And how are we going to keep each other accountable so that we have the best learning environment that we possibly can each and every single day? So your teachers are working with you guys this week and next week on our classroom compacts. And I can't wait to see all of the classroom compacts that you guys will be putting together. These are promises that you're going to make, not just at the beginning of the year, but you're going to revisit them throughout the year. You're going to use them for problem solving. You're going to use them to set goals, and you're going to use them to make your classroom community the most strong and fun and engaging place that you can have when you come to school every day. So we're very excited to see those. Keep working hard at those, and we can't wait to see them.
So we all know that this school year is a little bit different than prior school years, and safety is so important right now. And so far, Ms. Chu and I have been really impressed with watching you guys be outside and in the classrooms wearing your masks and doing your best at hand sanitizing and washing your hands. So we just want to make sure that we go over everything one more time. So we need to remind ourselves to keep everyone safe and make sure that we're all following the rules. We want to make sure that our masks are covering our noses at all times. So I have my mask right here. I'm going to wear it to show you how to properly wear your mask. We want to make sure that it's up over our ears and covering our noses and down by our mouths. We also want to make sure that we're not walking around with our nose sticking out, or the other way, right? I can't see if I have it too high. So we want to make sure that we can see, we have it well covered. Now you can take it off briefly if we're taking a sip of water, right? Or we're eating our lunch. And then if you need a mask break when you're outside at recess, you can step away from your friends and go ahead and take your mask off for a few moments, take some deep breaths, and then go ahead and put it back on and continue playing with your friends. But so far, we've been pretty impressed with everyone being so responsible and wearing your mask. And Mr. Sunny and Mr. Carter will come around during the day and they'll say, we're doing a mask check, and they're just making sure that everyone's remembering, because sometimes we may forget really quickly. So we want to make sure we're all doing that properly. The next thing is making sure that we're keeping our distance from our friends while we're playing, eating, or standing in line. We know we're so excited to see one another, to play with one another, and to talk with one another, but we still have to make sure that we're keeping a safe distance. At your lunch tables, I'm sure you noticed that there are some X's on the tables, so we want to make sure that we're sitting there and not moving. You can still talk to your friends, but we want to make sure that you're at a safe distance to do so. Same thing when you're waiting in line, back up a little bit. Don't be so close to the people in front of you. We also want to make sure that we're not playing or touching anyone with our hands at any time. We want to make sure that we're all being safe and clean. We want to make sure that we're not spreading germs by touching our friends or them touching us, right? And to get rid of those germs, we want to make sure that we are using hand sanitizer all the time before when we're coming into the buildings, into our classrooms, and washing our hands at our washroom breaks as well. So all these things are so important to make sure that we all stay safe and that we can all stay in school for the rest of the school year. So practicing wearing our masks, is so important. And I'm pretty impressed with everyone so far. I don't know about you, Ms. Chu.
For sure. I think everyone from our pre-K students who we've seen pictures of having your mask on even during Calm Classroom, to our 7th and 8th grade student leaders in the main building, you guys keep it up. We know it can be uncomfortable throughout the whole day to have your mask on, but it is so, so important to be safe. And this is the one expectation that everybody here, we all need to do very, very importantly so that we can all be safe.
Okay.
And so moving on a little bit more as we wrap up just expectations around the building and some basic school rules. There have been some questions I know from some students and parents about the dress code. So I just want to clarify that what we're saying this year is most importantly, your job every day as a student at Armour is to come to school ready to learn. And so what we're saying this year is you don't have to come in uniform, but you do have to be wearing school appropriate clothing. That means we want you to be in polos of any color. It can be any color at all. You cannot be wearing any clothing that has inappropriate messages or pictures or anything that would be disruptive. If that happens, you will be asked to change. You will have to take care of it right away, and you are going to be expected to come to school with school appropriate clothing the next day. If you are coming into the building as soon as, when the weather gets a little bit chillier, I know a lot of us like to wear hoodies. You can wear a hoodie into the building, but hoodies and the hoods themselves need to be down at all times. As soon as you walk into the main building, in the branch or the main, the hoods come down, okay? We don't want to make the dress code a big issue, but this is also something that we are doing because we trust you guys to make good decisions about showing up ready to learn. If there are certain classrooms where we're talking with the students repeatedly, day after day, week after week, about hoodies being down or school appropriate clothing, your classroom will be required to come back into uniform. So if there's a classroom that has repeated issues with dress code, then we will be moving that classroom back to uniform policy. So our last word about this is, show us that you can be trusted to come to school ready to learn. Okay, we don't want extra distractions this year. You guys haven't been in school for a long time. We want to make sure that you're coming to school with no distractions. We also don't want to make it hard for your parents to send you to school. So we want to make sure that we're doing something that makes sense. And so come to school with school appropriate clothing. Hoodies are down when you're inside the building. If there is a classroom that has repeated issues with this, then your classroom will be required to come back into uniform. So students, you have to work together on this, okay? Remind each other to make good decisions about how you're coming to school, comply with the directions that your teachers are giving to you, and show us that we can trust you with that. And so we want to talk a little bit about something fun that we're doing. Well, it's kind of fun, but it's a special support that we're going to be offering to students this year, because this is a year that's more important than any other year for us to make sure that we're coming to school prepared for class. And so we asked a couple students around the building, why is it important that you come to school with your work completed and that you're prepared for class? And I wanted to share some wonderful student answers. Ms. Sanchez and I are going to just take turns and read them out loud so you can see them. But we had some wonderful answers from students around the building. So why is it important to be prepared for class? Augie in first grade says, so you can know the answers.
Audrey says, so you can grow and be smarter. And if you don't learn, you won't grow and be smarter.
Max in second grade is very practical because it's important. Otherwise, you won't get money, and then I can't buy toys, and I like toys. Max is thinking ahead.
Yusuf in second grade says, so when the teacher asks a question, you will know the answer. Very true, Yusuf.
And we were so impressed with Kevin Q's answer. Kevin in fifth grade says, I want to be prepared for class because it helps me learn in math, science, and reading. Helps me to practice math skills so I can get better. It helps me prepare for high school, college, and work. And being prepared for class also makes me feel happy because I am ready to learn and I want to pass 5th grade. That's a great way to put it, Kevin.
The last two are from our leaders in the building, our 7th and 8th graders. Everyone's looking up to you. So I'm so happy that we have some role models here. Alondra in 7 says, so I can be on track of my assignments and not be stressed trying to catch up.
Very good point, because when you're not prepared, you're going to fall behind. So Alondra is thinking ahead. And then lastly, Annalise in 8th grade. It is important to complete my work because it's going to benefit my future. It's important to be prepared for class because it helps us to learn better, having the right materials and the mindset. So I just want to point out, do you see how some of our older students understand the value of being prepared because they're thinking long term? They're thinking about what this is going to mean if they don't plan ahead. And so Ms. Sanchez and I were thinking about how to make sure that we had every student regularly prepared for class every single day. And here is what we're going to be offering. All of our students know that when you have a homework assignment due from your teacher, if you don't do it the day of, it's missing. And what your teacher is going to be entering into the grade book is a missing assignment that tells us that you didn't do it. Your teacher assigned you something and you didn't do it. Well, the consequence of that is that you're not going to be prepared. And we're not going to allow you to continue to be unprepared for class. So these academic centers will be beginning this year in grades 3 through 8. So again, this is only for students in the main building in grades 3 through 8. Every 5 weeks, you will be reflecting on your grade book. Your teacher is going to have you pull up your grade book. You're going to look at any missing assignments that you have. If you don't have any missing assignments, congratulations. You are right on track. You are doing exactly what you need to be prepared. Keep it up. Great job. But if you are a student with an MSG, missing assignment in any category, you are going to complete a self-referral and you will be required to attend Academic Center during your recess the next week, every single day until every assignment is completed. You are not going to be allowed to join us at recess until every single missing assignment is done. And so this is something that we're doing not to punish anybody, but you guys heard from your peers. Being prepared for class pays off. And it's very, very important that all of our students know how important it is to be successful and to prepare yourself to be successful when you're in class. You're not going to be able to learn your best if you're not prepared. Ms. Sanchez and Ms. Baelish will also be rolling out a program for some of our student leaders in grades 5 through 8 who would like to be student leaders in our academic centers, mentoring our younger kids or helping to tutor. So if you think you're a student leader in those upper grades that could really be supportive and you're looking for a student leadership opportunity, we would love for you to apply. Tell us why you think you want to be a student leader in this capacity. And we would love to celebrate some of our students who are able to be strong leaders, helping one another and helping our school ensure that every student is prepared daily for class.
Attendance. So we are in day 4, but this is for our first 2 days of attendance. We had 100% of attendance for the first 2 days in these grade levels: kindergarten, 2nd grade, 4th grade, and 6th grade. That's so amazing. And just shows how excited everyone was to be in school starting this school year. Overall, in our whole building, we are 98.5%, and that's amazing. And we hope that throughout the school year, we can keep it up because attendance is so important. And because we missed already so much school, we want to make sure that you guys are here as much as possible. Leader of the Month. So we have celebrated Leaders of the Month for the past couple years, and we want to bring it back. So each month, your teachers will be nominating a student who they think is exhibiting the Leader of the Month traits. So if we look for each month, there is a different leader in me habit that we are going to focus on. So for September, we are thinking about who is on track for success. And for this month, we are looking for students who are on track, which means their attendance is good and their grades are awesome. They contribute to their class discussions regularly. You're participating. You have 0 missing assignments, and your positive contributions to your classroom and your school community. You are being a leader. So I want you guys to think about whether or not you can shoot for all of those criteria for this month and catch your teacher's eye so that you can be leader of the month for September for your classroom. So I'm so excited to see who gets nominated at the end of September.
And our leaders of the month, we're going to have your pictures down in the first floor of each building so that anyone who comes in the building can know and learn about our wonderful student leaders. And we do. We have so many great leaders in every classroom. We've seen it already this week. So we're very excited to celebrate all of the strong leadership happening in our classrooms. And lastly, as we close out, I just wanted to make sure that our students were aware of a program we're going to bring back. Some of you last year during remote learning remember that we started to do some lunch and listens. And these were my favorite meetings. This is something that we did during your lunch period where students can just sign up to have lunch either with me or Miss Sanchez, and we would just sit down and talk and listen to you guys about what you have to share about your school experience so far. It's so important to us to hear from our students, to learn about your daily experience, to be available to answer questions that you have. And so your teachers are going to share out this sign-up link. And our first lunch and listen is going to be next Wednesday. And I think the time is wrong, but it's going to be during your lunch period next Wednesday. Students who sign up, you're going to receive an invitation on Wednesday morning, so you'll know where to meet me, okay? And we're going to start off the year with our first lunch and listen of the year, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with any students who are interested.
All right, so to end our first virtual newsletter of the year, we are going to end with a very popular jib jab. So we just want to say that we hope you guys all had a great and safe summer and that you are ready to really work hard this school year and make it a great year. And we are so excited to have everyone back. So here we go, guys.
In the summertime, when the weather's hot, we can stretch right up and stay in the skies. When the weather's fine, we go fishing on the river in the sea. We're always happy, and I believe in this our philosophy. Singing along with us, da 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 da.